Dholavira. It's a marvelous site. It's a marvelous site in the Kutch region of Gujarat on the banks of river Luni. Now it is located in the midst of Great Run of Kutch. And today it is far away from the coastal area, but there is a theory that says that at that time the height of the sea was little more, so water came little more inside the land, and Dholavira was perhaps a port town, nearby port, if not exactly port. So could be it was a port city on a small island back then. Back then, matlab in that era, because the landscape of Kutch has drastically changed when this Kaggar Hakra slash Saraswati river disappeared. Before that, it was a different looking area. Map bhi alag hota, jamin bhi alag hota. Ab kafi, it has become marshy land. Then second thing, this area received little rainfall, so its people focused on capturing and storing water. Its water harvesting and conservation system consisted of tanks, reservoirs, streams, and channels. This is actually the most wonderful aspect. देखो, हड़प्पा में आप समझो, we have lots of cities, and cities are located in different locations, from the foothills of Himalaya to Afghanistan to the alluvial plains of Indus Valley to the marshy land of Gujarat. In different locations, sometimes atop mountain, sometimes in the river valley, sometimes near the coast, sometimes far away from river. There are different ecologies, different type of soil, different type of water supply, different type of climate, local climate. So to be able to survive in such different ecological settings, we need to develop different techniques. The way Harappa is constructed, the way Mohenjo-daro is constructed, will not be the way Dholavira is constructed. मोहनजोदड़ो में पानी की कोई दिक्कत ही नहीं है, बल्कि दिक्कत फ्लड की है. Here you don't have access to water very easily. दो नदियां है, एक नदी इस तरफ है, एक नदी इस तरफ है, but both these rivers are actually rivulets and they are seasonal. They just flow for few weeks, couple of weeks maybe during monsoon, and then they disappear. तो आपको साल के 15-20 दिन में पानी इकट्ठा करना है, and you have to store that water in 15-20 days, which will be sufficient for rest of the year for entire city population. That is first challenge. So you have entire city is full with lot of probable reservoirs. This is something that we have not seen reservoirs in other places. We have seen rivers, we have seen the flood water irrigation, we have seen the wells, we have seen the drain channels, but not reservoirs of that scale. Huge reservoirs, multiple of them. साल भर रहना है जंगल या रेगिस्तान के तरह की जगह में. Second thing, here you don't have jungle. You don't have jungle, you don't have wood. Don't have wood, we can't have a lot of furnace. Can't have a lot of furnace, we can't create bricks. Supply of bricks is very scarce here because the lack of availability of fuel. But शहर कैसे बनेगा? Harappa was created out of bricks. Same for Mohenjo-daro. Here, it is created out of stone and not bricks. It's a stone city and not a brick city. Stone you can find around very easily, and that is being used. तो स्टोन को आपको पूरा चिजलिंग करना है, ड्रेसिंग करना है, साइज में कार्व करना है, देन अप्लाई. इट्स अ बिग टास्क. वर्किंग ऑन स्टोन इज वेरी डिफिकल्ट. इट्स वेरी स्लो एंड लेबोरियस प्रोसेस. लगता है पत्थर की कीमत क्या होती है? That is true because it is available abundantly in some areas, but the moment you want to transform that pathar into useful thing, the amount of labor it takes is immense. Even in Harappa, I am not joking. You think कि पत्थर की मूर्तियां बहुत होगी? In Harappan civilization, the stone sculptures are very rare, and whatever are there, they are very costly. Because working on stone is not easy. मिट्टी पे काम कर लो, टेराकोटा, bricks चल जाएगा, वो भतेरे पड़े हो. Stone sculptures are very less, and they have created an entire city out of stone. So Dholavira is another wonder of the world because it is in different ecological setting in Harappans developed. That also shows you sustainable living practices. Sustainability वहां पे रहे, वहां पे 20,000-30,000 लोग सालों साल रह पाए. So it's a different type of town planning. जनरली होता क्या है, जब लोग देखते हैं अच्छा हड़प्पा है, यहाँ पे अपर टाउन लोअर टाउन, अच्छा ढोलावीरा इट हैज गॉट 3 parts, 3 parts, चलो that is eye catching, but that is futile. That is the most useless part of it. What is more important is this ecological aspect. So they harvested rainwater from 2 storm river water drains. One of their reservoirs was 9 times larger than an Olympic sized swimming pool. I think I have put a photo also of one reservoir somewhere. Yes. Look at this photo. This is out of stone. You can see people are standing here and sitting. So this is just to give an idea of the amount of work they have done in stone just for storing water in huge quantity. And this is just one reservoir. There are multiple such reservoirs there. So water supply, वाटर कंजर्वेशन के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से अगर आपको कोई हड़प्पन शहर देखना हो, इट इज धोलावीरा. दैट इज द ग्रेटेस्ट अचीवमेंट. Then another thing of Dholavira is stone was the primary building material that I discussed. There are two polished stone pillars that will become handy later on, but I think I have a photo somewhere, not here, somewhere later. It is just a fact that there are two stone pillars there. Then signboard. This is a signboard. This signboard is located, you know, कहाँ पे रखा हुआ है वो? In the main citadel. So this Dholavira has three parts. We have the middle town, we have the lower town, and we have this castle. At the entry of castle, you have here somewhat a ceremonial ground. यहाँ पे सामने दीवार एक bastion है. On the bastion at the top you have this location जहाँ पे वो signboard था. So it was for public use. Whosoever would walk from here to here would be able to just turn around and see on the wall a signboard. That's why we said in the beginning that it was perhaps a great tradition. Many people could read and write. That's possibility. अगर वो नहीं होता तो आप क्यों पब्लिक में डिस्प्ले करते हो? Because seals and ceilings don't indicate that. Seals and ceilings are for private thappa and consignments of goods. So they would be read and seen only by people involved in the trade, not by common public. But the location of the signboard is the first and the only clear instance that reading writing perhaps is for common people also. Perhaps. And it is the public signboard. Then you have some more interesting things. At least दो चीजें और है. Three areas: citadel, middle town, lower town, signboard. Administrators allowed only pedestrian into the city center. That is, I found it very interesting. Like यहाँ पे रास्ते हैं, but रास्ते की एंट्री इतनी छोटी है कि बैलगाड़ी नहीं जा सकती. बैलगाड़ी can't enter. Ox cart can't enter. So these are clearly areas where people used to gather and walk around. जैसे आज का चांदनी चौक है. Pedestrian only roads. These things are so modern in some way that you start seeing कि भाई लोग क्या फर्क, क्या बदला क्या है in some cases. And then there was a stadium. I have another photo not in this book जहाँ पे actually you see there is a huge stadium. Stadium is a typical word from Greek civilization where you have some kind of sports going on, perhaps gladiators, perhaps a race of chariots, whatever, like Ben-Hur, जो कुछ हो सकता है. And then you have people sitting around and enjoying that. We have found such a thing. So you have public sport and stadium there in Dholavira. We may have had it in other places also, but here we found it very clearly and distinctly. And then there is one interesting thing. These are the circular houses they are found there. So some of the houses are circular, some of the houses are square, but the circular houses are very interesting with the central shaft that can support the roof, and this structure comes eerily close to present घर वहां के जो है जिनको भुंगा बोलते हैं. So even today, people in Kutch have bhungas, circular houses, and these circular houses का diameter भी also equal to almost this diameter. तो यूनाल सब मिट गए जहां से, अब तक मगर है बाकी नामो निशा हमारा, सारे जहां से अच्छा. So these are very interesting things. So much so that अगर आप देखोगे in the 6th standard new NCERT जो chapter of हड़प्पा है, फ्रंट पेज का फोटो क्या है? It's a photo of धोलावीरा. धोला गली है, उस गली में 3-4 women are standing and they are wearing today's clothing of Banjaras. रंग बिरंगी साड़ी है, लाल नीले रंग की, हाथ में पूरी चूड़ियां है और वहां बैठी है. That shows कि वो कपड़े भी वैसे थे, बैंगल भी वैसे थे. So that brings you the continuity sense in your mind if you look at that photo for just 30 seconds. And they have chosen Dholavira for that. And then you have graves. And Harappan graves are, so the Dholaviran graves are very interesting. Most of them, if not all, most of them are merely symbolic graves. They have put proper burial practice They have arranged all these stones. They have some coffin like structure. They have grave goods. What they don't have is skeleton. They have not buried anybody there, but everything else is done. Is it symbolic कि आदमी कोई शायद कोई जंगल में किसी जानवर ने खा लिया, बॉडी मिली ही नहीं, and the family is grieving and they want to do all this shraddh? We don't know what is the thing. But in Dholavira, maybe it is also possible that Dholavira people follow different religion and they have different burial practices. We have no idea. But in Dholavira, we have found, I may have some photo in the end, jahan pe you will see that the burial practices are very different. There are symbolic burials. This is the UNESCO citation of Dholavira, very large. So पढ़ लेते हैं. The ancient city of Dholavira, the southern center of the Harappan civilization, is sited in the arid island of Khadir in the state of Gujarat. This is typical prelims only fact. Nadi kaun si thi, island kaun sa tha? So Khadir Island, you should know the name. Occupied between 3000 to 1500 BCE, the archaeological site, one of the best preserved urban settlements from the period in Southeast Asia. Southeast Asia. You pata nahi, it's wrong. It is South Asia, but they have said Southeast Asia. Comprises a fortified city and a cemetery. Two seasonal streams provided water, a scarce resource in the region, to the walled city, which comprises a heavily fortified castle and ceremonial ground, as well as streets and houses of different proportion quality, which testified to a stratified social order. A sophisticated water management system demonstrates the ingenuity of the Dholavira people in their struggle to survive and thrive in a harsh environment. The site includes a large cemetery with cenotaphs of 6 types, testifying to the Harappan's unique view of death. We shall see that in detail later. Bead processing workshops and artifacts of various kinds such as copper, shell, stone, jewelry of semi-precious stones, terracotta, gold, ivory, and other materials have been found during the excavations of the site, exhibiting the culture's artistic and technological achievements. Evidence for inter-regional trade with other Harappan cities as well as with cities in the Mesopotamia region and Oman Peninsula have also been discovered. So this is a very good summary of trade, technology, craft, nature, everything, urbanization, society.